Welcome back to Bridgeburn 412 Plays Bloodborne. So we continued the Hunter's Nightmare in our last episode, or we returned to the Hunter's Nightmare in our last episode. I've got some cords all tangled up here. And we are now going to be making progress into the Hunter's Nightmare some more. I still have quite a few echoes, so I don't want any echoes. So I need about 50,000 to get another level. So I'm going to clear a little bit of those bugs, if I can, and then come back and hello, Gigs. I just want to say hi. Okay. Actually, let's see. I got all the stuff out here. There is a guy, though. So it's probably worthwhile to show you all out here. This is where you would pick up... Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm in the wrong place. I thought I was in the other... Oh, no, I am. Yeah. Oh, no, I went to the wrong one. So let me go back. I went to the chapel instead of the Hunter's Nightmare. So let's do this properly. I went to the Nightmare Church instead of the Hunter's Nightmare, where I should have gone. And we're going to come out that little shortcut area. Sorry, had a little domestic bliss right there. Pass our buddy here. Come this way. Yeah, so we need about 50K. I'm not sure how much these guys will give us. A little easier to come from this direction. You're not giving very much at all. It's not like we're under-leveled or anything, but still, it's the principle of the thing. There's an NPC in there who's very difficult, and it's very difficult terrain. So I usually just accept the idea that I'm going to die there. Those blood ticks will put poison on you. And they have quite a health pool. Shit, wasn't too bad at all. Not too bad at all for the whirly gig. I really want two of them now, but we're not going to have a choice here. Stop it. You spazzy spaz. Good. Might as well kill the other one back in there. There's a couple back in there. That's going to be our path of progression that way. Uh-oh. Molotov bomber. Is he going to follow us? Hi. I'm being rude. he's given us. Only giving us 600. It's kind of interesting in this area. The regular enemies don't give you too much in terms of echoes. But the bosses are brutal. Like, we're coming up on one of the... what did I just get? This one? Blood attack up. Okay. One of the most difficult bosses in the game. Ludwig. And he's going to be kind of rough. Okay. So we're about 7,000 away, you know. If we lose these, we lose these, so I'm making peace with it right now. Okay, your 2 chunks. But being a 100% walkthrough, there is the bad dude. He's got a repeating gun. He's got like an absurd health pool. In addition to his vials. So what he does is he staggers you up against a wall. I would suggest, if you're going to fight him, try to fight him in this little area the best you can. Don't progress any farther in the game, or in the area. There's another baddies around there. So you can get that Gatling gun from him, which does... Apparently I wanted to strike this pose right here. Interesting enough. So that's about as easy as I've taken care of him ever. So, yeah, so I would suggest fight him in here, in this little area. Don't walk around here because there's going to be some other enemies, and once you get other enemies in the way, then trying to fight him and the other enemies simultaneously causes a lot of problems. This is a big circle around here, so you can drop down there. See, there's a couple baddies here, so if you go into this room, it's kind of like a trap in the sense of you've got these guys to dodge, then you've got Gatling Gun shooting you, and if you end up here and Gatling Gun is out there, you're going to have a bad time. Hear things tromping around in here. So, yep, there's another one of those guys. You can see there's lots of stuff down here. I want to target this guy. Oh, doing that. Oh no. That was close. So you can see, or you can't see. For some reason, the targeting lock-on in this room is very small. This thing doesn't stagger. So, yeah, holy mackerel. He is rough. So, warm, damp, blood gem 5. Let's see what that does. While we're here, warm, damp, blood gem 5. Oops, wrong menu. Warm, damp, blood gem 5. So, blood tinge again. So yeah, which would make sense since we're standing in a pool of blood and faced a guy with a Gatling gun. It would make sense that this is all blood tinge stuff. And the amygdalin arm. So, apparently I'm excited about that too. So the amygdalin arm is a weapon where you basically have the arm of an amygdala. It has an interesting move set. It's also a strength weapon. Try to get back out to the light to demonstrate. I think that's everything down here. So it's kind of just a big circle that you could drop into if you're fighting the Gatling gun guy, so you just got to keep your wits about you. That was the drop down that we looked at from above. There's another drop down, so there's all kinds of nooks and crannies you can get stuck in out here, which is not ideal. So that's why you want to fight. That's why you want to fight the guy back there. So this was the drop down into that area. Well, there's nothing else back here. Just head back the way you came, the direction you came. Back out into the light. So, we managed to survive our encounter in there and live to tell the tale. So that is super awesome. So the amygdala arm, it's like a big hammer. The moveset isn't all that exciting. It sweeps with the R2. But where it kind of shines is when you put it in its trick mode. You can swing it and hold your R2. So you hold your R2 the whole time. It's there, keep your R2 down, and it'll do those 2 more hits. In addition to big old swings like that. And you can keep your gun out, as you can see, as well. So it's quite a popular weapon. A lot of people use it. I've never used it because it's pretty slow. So I've never really used it that much. But if it's your thing, do your thing. So come over here and grab that. And then over here, there are some more of these ticks. Now, there is an item over there. It is a pair of pants, pair of trousers, constable trousers. So if you're looking for the constable set, so we'll go ahead and try to get those. Of course, there's 3 of these butt heads, so the problem is you can easily get staggered and overwhelmed. 3 of them. Back up far enough, you can get one of them to go back. Take your vial and top off. So the constable's trousers are... I wish they had like the comparison screen that you could compare, but the best they give you is the reds and the blues and the whites. So a little bit improvement on blunt, fire damage is less, so knock yourself out if you want to rock the constable wear. We're going to get some more constable stuff up here pretty soon. We'll work our way through here. Now, we sprinted through here really quickly because we were trying to get to the ladder. We were way under-leveled for this area. There's another dog. I don't know if you saw him. There he is, running around circles. Sometimes like Rosie Posey will do in the backyard. Just dispatch it. So we ran over there. I'm just going to take out the dog over here. There's a dude with a blunderbuss here, and the beast cutter. We've seen them before. That Molotov did nothing. Didn't even tickle him. It's always been my assumption, I could be totally wrong about this, but it's always been my assumption that Molotovs scale on strength. However, that did not scale at all. Alright, so there are some crows that will jump down. There are these weird things. I don't know what their deal is. Dispatch the crows. Get your pebbles. Say pebbles. This gets a chuckle out of him. Some of these groaners. I don't think you can kill them or anything. They're just kind of there. Just kind of moaning and groaning half out of the ground. So we will head up. And prepare ourselves for another NPC fight here pretty soon. But first we're going to go grab this stuff. So just kind of, this should be somewhat familiar. So set your camera, and then don't touch it again. Just use your left thumbstick. And that's the constable garb. Jump down, back to the ladder. Have another conflict here with an NPC dude who's right back there, so he can be a little bit tricky. So he's a red-eyed guy with the scythe, so just go ahead and start it off with a visceral. So you can see half my health is gone. Thought I'd get him with a bullet at the end there, but it did not happen. Nope. So he will give you a vermin as well, and then this is the scythe. That was the weapon that he was using. So it's a little bit like the saw cleaver. Just to give you a tour of the weapons. So it has big sweeps. Again, it hits pretty hard, but it's kind of slow. And then it goes much faster in its trick phase. And then it does a slam right in front of you. Does some lunges for, I think, thrust damage. Okay. Then you jump down here and back up this little area. So a sinking city kind of thing. If you've played Dark Souls 3, a little bit like that. So there's going to be a couple big giant guys here with Gatling guns. We're gonna run past them to start with because we've got a lot of echoes, and they can sneak up on you and kill you before you know it. So level here first. So this is where we teleported in accidentally. I want to show you where you can get helper. So this is Henriette for the boss if you want some help. There's also an NPC up here who's going to jump down when we go over to get that thing. We'll go ahead and fight that NPC up here, even though that thing is worthless. It's over there. You see a shadow right there on the wall. He will knock us down into the crows if we're not careful. So usually I try to pull him over here. So if we die, you know, we're right near the lamp. So we can... So he's a red-eyed dude. We got weird timings on the deal. Oh, I forgot to put my weapon on. No problem. So you can see he's got quite a health pool. Woo! If I didn't hit him that time, I was dead. Get a couple vials. Of course, it doesn't make up for the vials that we lost, but what are you gonna do? But you don't want to jump. You don't want to fall down there because the crows interfere with the fight. But now, since he's dead, we can to get the item that's down there. Which, as I recall, is kind of worthless. A couple blood vials. Not totally worthless, of course. There's no way back up there other than coming this... Oops. Other than coming this way. And if you remember, that thing fell from the sky and landed there, which we're going to see a little bit later. And this is where we got our whirligig all that time ago. Memory lane. So you got to drop back down. Use the ladder. And so now the two baddies are out there. So you definitely don't want to fight the both of them. Although I am, against my better judgment, going to come back here. Pick up this item, which is the butcher gear. And I'm going to run out. And run across. Using the landscape as a shield. There's pretty big AoE damage on those as well. Feel free to fight those guys if you want. I don't really see a need at this point to do it. So we're going to go back to the Hunter's Dream. We're going to level. And we're going to take a run at Ludwig, one of the most difficult bosses in the game. Back in our endgame.
Go. Very well, then. Farewell, good hunt.
And as with every boss fight, I don't like going in with, look at how expensive these are down here. I don't like going in with any echoes, because I don't want to, I don't want to worry about having to go get them should I die. For this, we're going to go ahead and use fire. Use our fire paper. And we'll go ahead and put Yosefka's just in case we get in big trouble there. And we'll head back. I'm also going to show you where another really good NPC is for this fight. So, but to find him, you need to come here and go over to your Oath Memory Carriel runes. And you put on your Impurity rune. And I'll show you, this brings Walter, the guy that you met in the Forbidden Woods with the bucket on his head, to come and help you. So he will come and help you. He'll be available to help you if you have this rune on that spot. But we're going to try to solo it, see how that goes. So we're going to head back to the Nightmare Church. If you are going to bring Henriette or Walter, or Henriette specifically, if you are going to try to bring Henriette with you, when you exit the church here, you are going to want to, for sure, kill those guys. Because if you don't, Henriette will go and lose half her health and possibly die on those guys, and the boss will be even more difficult for you. So, get your pebble from that witch. That witch will chase you all the way into the tunnel where the boss is. This guy pounding against this wall always gives you 5 vials. Now there will be some crows here. Kill the crows. And right back here will be the summoning sign for Walter, if you put that Impurity rune on. So kill the witch, kill the crows, get the vials, and then head in. That pebble is there, by the way, as a trap, because you run in, you see it there, you get the shiny, and then the witch has followed you in, and then slashes your throat with her ladle. Okay, so here's our first run at Ludwig, one of the most difficult bosses in the game, and let's just kind of see how we do. Basically, he has 2 phases. The first phase, he's just a jumping crazy horse thing that you're going to want to stay on his right side and killing his weird leg that's sticking out the right side as much as possible. Then he phases into phase 2 and he gets a moonlight sword that shoots magic. And the secret to that part of the fight is to just stay behind him as much as possible and not get hit by the magic. We could check for arcane defense here and put on some gear that has better arcane defense. What is our hunter set giving us here? 30 versus 50, so we'll go ahead and switch to that. This is 70 versus 110, so yeah, we'll go ahead and switch to the Gascoigne's gear for this, just because there's arcane damage. And I'll be using fire paper to help us with the fight. And without further ado, let's just see how this kind of goes. I kind of like the cutscene, so I'm going to let the cutscene go.
Oh, please. Help us. Alongside this, the great terror looms. Have mercy upon us.
this thing. Just repulsive. Not the best way to start, but we'll see how it goes. Hey, I gotta hit him. Okay. Just don't panic. Heal on your... Always, when he throws in the air, you just gotta roll like a crazy person. He will fly down either after like 1 second or lots of seconds. So you just want to roll. Just gonna get a chance to heal there. Yep. It's that charge that is really the one that hits the hardest. And up in the air again. Roll like a crazy person in a circle. Okay, now he's going to phase.
You were at my side all along. My treatment.
The key in the second phase is to just stay behind him as much as you can. He does have one attack where he plunges the sword into the ground, which is going to cause a magic AoE. And in that one, you want to back away. A hell of a time trying to get behind him. Try not to be greedy, get your heals in. Visceral. Try to heal here. Okay, so this is the one that he is going to shoot an arrow of magic out. Again, you're just trying to stay behind him. Our whirligig saw does the trick for us. Okay, so he can be really, really difficult if you don't have your dodge game on. Your instinct is to run away from him, which is the last thing you want to do, because he will charge. As you saw, he charged us a few times, knocked us down, and then he also once he hits that magic phase, he will shoot streams of magic out of the sword that if you get stuck in the stream, it just destroys you. So our whirligig saw was on point for us and got us through. We only used 2 fire papers. I didn't want to throw a fire paper on because it would have taken a second and taken away from a dodge, and I might have gotten hit. So you can talk to this head.
Tell me, have you seen all my...
Yes, I've seen the...
to know, thank you, even in...
Okay, and then you can get from him the Holy Moonlight Sword. So that was the sword that he was using in the fight. And then you can pretty much take care of the horse's head. I think I got him. Yeah. Maybe he never dies. I don't know. So we're going to head back to the Hunter's Dream and go ahead and... I wonder if we have enough for a level. We might not even have enough for a level. So, yeah, so there's Ludwig. He can be an extremely difficult boss. If you don't have your dodge on, but if you have your dodge on and you're utilizing your whirligig saw, keep to that strat, you should be fine. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time as Bridgeburner 412 continues the 100% walkthrough of Bloodborne.